The people got a thoroughly entertaining All-Star game, but All-Star Weekend is not just a time for the players to get together and put on a show for the fans. It's also a time for executives and media to get together and discuss things that are important to the NBA. The first thing that we're going to discuss to J&J supporters is broken news.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
We have been talking about 1 through 16 seeding in the NBA for years and years and years now, and now everyone else seems to be catching up. When asked about it over the weekend, Adam Silver floated a little idea, floated a little system out there that he thinks could work. He said that while the teams could be selected the same way, meaning 8 from the Eastern Conference and 8 from the Western Conference, they could potentially be reseeded 1 through 16 once they were in the pool. Jalen, this is not the idea that you have been supporting for years, but do you like this compromise?
I love the compromise, and the reason why it makes sense is you play against the teams in your conference 50 times versus the opposing conference 32 times. So that evens the playing field for getting the top 8 from each conference. Then you reseed them 1 through 16 come playoff time. It totally makes sense. And I know some fans are going to look at the paper and say, man, Boston has to play against the Portland Trail Blazers? Oh, no, they got to fly across country. These guys have private planes, the best nutrition, the best medicine. Like, it's okay to take a flight across the country and play the games 2 or 3 days in succession. Players will be just fine. But how about this? You get a chance to create new rivalries. How about Dame Dollar and Kyrie going at it? How about the Greek Freak playing against Minnesota, Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns? These are the things that I think will infuse new blood in the NBA while still protecting the integrity of the schedule and the division winners.
I think that there's a lot of discussion about this year in particular because a lot of people hold the belief that the Rockets and the Warriors are the 2 best teams. And if that was a Western Conference Finals, that would maybe be better basketball than the actual NBA Finals. But if you look over this through history, because you've been supporting this for a long time, do you think that this has long-term value? Or do you think it's just something that we're talking about now because of this year's particular matchups?
No doubt, because here's the thing. How many times late in the year, and pay attention, NBA fans, it's going to happen this year, we start talking about seeding. And, they want to fall to number 2 so they don't have to face this team in the second or third round. Oh, they're going to fall to this seed so the matchup is a lot better. Now when you go 1 through 16, guess what you have to do? Play your best.
Win.
You just have to go out and play your best and be consistent with your performance, especially late in the season. Because you're not just going against the 8 teams in your conference. You're going against all 16 teams, which means you drop a couple of games and you rest a couple of healthy players, you could fall a couple of seeds, and it truly affects your trajectory.
That's a good point, Mr. Rose. Now, I think this could happen soon. Like, I could see this happening in a few years. Could you ever see the conferences being abolished? You mentioned the 50 games in your conference, 32 outside. Could you ever see it just be 41-41? We're all one big conference, and we will just be one big conference.
Be able to do it. Here's why. You have to protect the integrity of the approximate 50% of the teams that have never won an NBA championship. You have to make everybody still feel that level of inclusion that when training camp starts, we got a chance to make the playoffs. We got a chance to make a run this year. When you take the best 16 records, you don't want to have it to where one conference has 12 teams and the other conference only has 4.
Well, hopefully we'll see this change soon. We'll be talking about it forever if they don't.